midsummer, and the dragon fruit have been going really well in some respects and not so well in others. I thought I might go through the different cultivars I grow and give you some of my thoughts. So the first one here is Columbian Supreme, and especially, well, out of the cultivars I'm growing, if you're only going to grow one dragon fruit, this is the one. So it flowers profusely, and pretty much every flower turns into a fruit. You can see there's one almost ready to pick up on top. I've had quite a few off this trellis this year, and I've been very impressed with this cultivar. Now I'll talk a bit more about this. I've been getting a bit of this fungus over winter, and they seem to grow through it over summer. You can see none of the new growth has it, and the old growth seems to still flower and fruit just fine. So I haven't been too concerned with it. It's not something I worry about, but it doesn't look the best, so I am considering doing something about it next year. If you've got much experience with this sort of fungus, and I have done a bit of reading, so I'm not completely clueless about it, but if you've got some experience or thoughts, please give them in the comments down below. I'll have a bit of a think, and then I'll make a video about dealing with it if I decide to. I don't know that it's worth it. It doesn't seem to affect the actual growth and fruiting. I don't find dragon fruit particularly attractive anyway, which is why they're sort of tucked away a bit back here. So I'm not sure that the looks is enough reason to warrant the effort of trying to prevent it. But I don't know. Let me know. Do you get more fruit if you treat it? I'm not sure. Columbian Supreme. It's a good one. Next up, Frankies Red. Pretty much the slowest growing dragon fruit in the world, or at least in my experience. It is a slow grower. And it also doesn't look the best. So you can see it gets hit really bad by the fungus, but the new growth's all fine. And for the first time ever, must be its third season. It is a slow grower, but for the first time ever, it's covered in flower buds. And it's got a couple of fruit on. This is the first fruit I'm actually ever going to pick, and I'm hoping it's going to be delicious. I might do a short, give a taste report in that. Interestingly, the Frankies Red this is a hybrid between the yellow dragon fruit and the normal red dragon fruit. And if you look at the fruit, it's almost half-half. The front half doesn't have spines, like a red, and the back half does. Just like yellow dragon fruit, when they're ripe, you can just brush the spines off, but they are pretty prickly, so you're better off using a brush. I'll do that to demonstrate it, but I'm not going to do the rest of it with my hand, but they do brush off. And they're apparently one of the better tasting dragon fruits, so pretty keen on that one. I've been told these are opposite season as well, that they'll fruit when the others are in a bit of a lull. But if you look at that and that, they seem to fruit at the same time, at least here. So maybe I need a bit more experience with these, another winter, another season, and then maybe I'll see that difference sort of pan out in the long run. But I am told they taste quite different, so I think they're one that's worth growing, if the taste lives up to the hype. Next up, Aztec Gem. So far, at least before I taste the Frankies Red, this is my favourite tasting dragon fruit. It's also a good looking plant. It does get a bit of the fungus, and it's a good fruiter. Gets a lot of fruit. So you can see quite a few fruit on this one. So all three, if they're not self-fertile, they at least seem to be easily pollinated. Obviously, it's always better to grow more than a single cultivar for pollination's sake. But I don't do any hand pollination, and so these all get fruit without any hand pollination, which is what I'm after. I don't want to be out here every night hand pollinating. It's fun the first time, but long term, it's not something I want to have to keep doing. So all three of these produce well. This is absolutely my favourite in terms of taste though. So if I was growing one, it'd be Columbian Supreme just because it's so productive, and it's a good taste as well. If I was growing two, the second cultivar I added would be Aztec Gem. Looks good, produces well, tastes absolutely amazing. Fourth one, Trish. I do not recommend it. So you can see it's covered in flowers. I'm yet to have a single fruit off this plant. Obviously, it needs hand pollination. It's not producing on its own, and I would assume these other cultivars can pollinate it, but it hasn't happened on its own. And these flowers get plenty of bees. I'll put up a quick shot of what they look like in the early morning or late afternoon when the bees are all over them, and just not getting any fruit off it. To boot, or to add insult to injury, it is extremely spiky and hard to deal with. It's a good grower, it's very vigorous, but I've got to prune it because it's so vigorous, and it's just painful. It's really, really spiky, doesn't produce any fruit, so this is one I'm going to replace. Before I replace it, you can see how many flowers are on it, I'm going to do some hand pollinating. So I'll make a video on hand pollinating, how to do it, just because I want to taste it before I get rid of it. If it's mind-blowing, maybe I'll change my mind. But to be honest, unless it's better than everything else here, it's gone. I've got some other cultivars I'd like to plant, and this one is out. So let me know, do you grow Trish? Tell me in the comments, do you grow Trish? Does it fruit for you, and is the fruit worthwhile? Because this is one I do not recommend. And the last cultivar I grow is Condor. Now this one gets absolutely smashed by fungus, but I am told the fruit makes this plant worthwhile. And it has had fruit before, but the birds beat me to it. You can see it's got a couple of flowers on it at the moment. They're just opening up tonight actually, so the bees will be coming in soon. Hey, look at this. Double header. Have you seen that before? I haven't. 2 flowers on 1 fruit. Interesting. Yeah, so this is Condor. The fruit look magnificent, the ones I've seen, but yeah, the birds beat me to it, so I'll have to try that one in the future. It stays for now. It's a nice plant to deal with. It's very leggy, as you can see, but not very spiky. You can hold it easily with your hands. Pruning's not a problem. Fungus seems to get it really badly in the winter, but again, it seems to grow out of it just fine and flower fine. So I'll see how it goes this season before I make any decisions, but I think this one's worth growing. So anyway, they're the 5 cultivars I have on poles. I do have some more in pots, and those are destined to place, particularly the Trish, if I don't see some action soon. But the other ones I've been very happy with. So that's my musings on dragon fruit for midsummer of 2022. Hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. So soon after finishing the video, I went and tried the Frankies Red. Inside, again, it looked like a cross, half yellow, half red, and its taste was similar. It was sweet like a yellow, but had some of that floral flavour of a red. I really like it. It's a winner.